The title of the lecture is Man, Mount and Maladies. Macro, micro, and we discover. Professor Foluso John Owotade was born on October 22, 1966 in Lagos. He graduated from the Obafemi University in 1989 and did his residency in oral and maxillofacial surgery. I was admitted as fellow of the West African College of Surgeons in 1997. He had honored training in oral medicine, epidemiology, and biostatistics at the University of California, San Francisco, USA. And had his PhD in oral microbiology at the University of the Witwatersrand, Johannesburg, South Africa. He joined the Obafemi University as a lecturer, Lecturer 1 in 1998, and was promoted to the grade of Professor of Defect from 1st October 2008. Professor Owotade is a research leader with over 90 scientific articles and 4 book chapters published. His main research focus is on oral aspects of HIV infection and the branching of oral and systemic health. He pioneered cutting-edge research in this area with the discovery of 26 novel strains of Candida albicans. His work laid a foundation for understanding yeast infection and virus in vulnerable populations like HIV-positive individuals. He previously served as a member of the International Association for Dental Research, International Dental Federation Expert Committee on Global Oral Health Inequalities, 2011. He's held several and first positions including head, oral, maxillofacial surgery, and preventive dentistry departments, Vice and Dean, Faculty of Dentistry of Awolowo University. He's mentored several generations of doctors and has supervised with one fellows of the West African College of Surgeons at National Postgraduate Medical Colleges, 2 MSc and 2 PhD students. He initiated oral medicine residency at the Obafemi University in 2006 and has trained 8 oral medicine specialists to date. He was previously a visiting assistant professor at the University of California, San Francisco, USA. He's currently an adjunct professor at the University of the Witwatersrand, Johannesburg, South Africa, at the National Institute for Medical Research, Lagos, Nigeria, with several ongoing research collaborations. He is an avid cyclist, an Anglican priest, and married with 3 wonderful children. I hereby present to you the inaugural Professor.
Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellors, Academic Administration, Research and Innovation, Registrar, Librarian, Bursar, Provost, Deans of Faculties, Professors, Directors, Heads of Departments, Units, colleagues, students, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. The journey of life started from conception when I was carefully and wonderfully made. I don't know when, but I showed up at almost midnight on Saturday, October 22nd, 1966, at the then very popular Island Botanic in Lagos. From then on to now, following my peculiar first name, Foluso, meaning committed to God for safekeeping. God has taken good care of me thus far. The academic journey started in primary school, from Lagos to Kandy and finally at Odoga. To Aquinas College, wherever I finished up on myself in 1983. That was the year my professional journey started on a shaky, uncertain note. I was filling my exam form for the university matriculation examination earlier that year. I wanted to pursue my passion at that time, still my passion, agricultural science. My mom saw what I was writing and slapped my head from the back. We were first the medicine, or first agreed Meaning, all your mates want to study medicine and you stupidly want to study agriculture. Reluctantly, I failed medicine, and after the interview to medical school, which was the practice then, I was offered dentistry. Even though I did well in my own estimate, President Adeba monitor known to me as Paul as headmaster, interviewed me. The only question for me was to mention the differences between arteries and veins, which I did perfectly. Dentistry. I was not expecting that, and we did not know much about dentistry in my family. Save a memorable experience when in 1975, my mom had to drive me from New Busan to Ibadan, a journey of about 400 kilometers to see a dentist. All the Balewa, Akon of Gowon, XYZ, Akitola, Goody, these are pseudonyms for different candies that I had growing up in Lagos and finally taking the effect of my teeth. A rotting tooth that was very painful. We first stopped at Ilorin, but there was no dentist before we proceeded to Ibadan. The toothache had to be relieved as I kept the whole family up at night by distress. The kind and smiling albino dentist at Ibadan who treated me, and the smell of the drugs he put in my tooth stayed with me for a long time. The albino, quote and unquote, by my own assessment, I later discovered that is Dr. S.A.J. Ibikole, who is now still alive and well in his 90s, already 2015. When I was now admitted to study dentistry in 1983, my cousin, who was in Part 5 agricultural science at that time, was so right, and he explained in Ile-Ife, meaning just teeth. How can this small boy spend 6 years of his life studying only teeth? The rest, as they say, is now history. The Ile-Ife and the quest to grow in the study of dentistry and the vast but generally unknown specialties of dentistry, plus the grace of God, have brought me thus far. By the grace of God, once I settled into the field, I applied myself maximally and reached the height of academic attainment in a relatively short time, being the first to become a professor in my 1983 admitted OU class of medicine and dentistry. The professor took effect from October 1, 2008, and it is by the grace of God that I'm able to present this inaugural lecture almost 16 years later. In hindsight, God was involved in all the steps. The mouth and its importance. The mouth is essential in our daily life, and the health of the mouth is the silent one of normal healthy living. Eating, talking, swallowing, expressing emotions and many other vital functions are performed by the mouth. From the historical perspective, the importance of the health of the mouth has been stressed since the time of Owotade, around 2000 BC, and Hippocrates around 460 BC. These are the founding fathers of medicine and dentistry. Hippocrates theorized that infections of dental origin may be accompanied by serious systemic symptoms and was reported to have cured arthritis by extracting a tooth. Owotade and his contemporary in the 3rd dynasty, Hesiri, documented procedures of all medical disciplines on at least 10 medical papyri, of which 5 contain prescriptions and treatment of dental maladies. Quote, in the event that Owotade is to be acclaimed the first doctor in history, then Hesiri should be given the honor of being the first authenticated dentistry in history. End of quote. Great 2014. The health of the mouth is multidimensional in nature and includes psychological, emotional, and social elements that are critical to the overall health and well-being of individuals. It is often when the health of the mouth is hampered in any way that is important becomes obvious to the individual and the people around. For instance, a man who wants to give his daughter in marriage will experience a lot of embarrassment if he is missing his front teeth. Cannot easily smile for photography. Or an individual who has a toothache and cannot eat or chew as she normally does, and normal daily activities involving the mouth now become a big problem. The health of the mouth also interacts with general health in a bidirectional manner. The interaction between oral and systemic diseases can be summarized into 4 categories. Firstly, many systemic diseases show signs in the mouth, sometimes even before showing up in any other part of the body. That is why the mouth is regarded as the mirror of the body. The features in the mouth can also reveal a lot of information about the individual's diet, habits, Brown disease, and indeed, the facial skeleton and the teeth have been used to identify diseased individuals, even to minute details. Examples of systemic disease that manifest in the mouth include HIV infection. As a matter of fact, my mentors in California were among the first to document the peculiar and some hitherto unknown oral lesions at the beginning of the HIV pandemic in the early 1950s, and are credited for the discovery of oral helicoplakia in 1984, Greenspan et al., 1984. 24 oral lesions are reported in the HIV literature, but 10 are encountered consistently. The oral candidiasis, oral helicoplakia, herpes simplex infection, Kaposi sarcoma, non-specific ulceration, alphos ulcers, periodontal disease, salivary gland disease, oral melanotic hyperpigmentation, and oral warts. These are some of the oral manifestations of HIV infection that they see. There are many other systemic diseases that have distinct manifestations in the mouth. And examples include iron deficiency anemia, diabetes mellitus, leukemia, COVID-19, and so on. Substance abuse can also easily show in the mouth, physically, or it can be detected in the saliva. Apart from what we see physically, a patient's saliva is a gold mine of information. Wozniak et al. 2019. There are so many applications of saliva in medical diagnosis covering different areas of medicine, as you can see on the figure. Being readily available and easy to collect while stable over time, saliva diagnosis for many conditions have become part of the standard of care. We explored the applications of saliva for monitoring of glycemic control in diabetic patients and found out that saliva inflammatory biomarkers, especially C-reactive protein levels, are higher in diabetics compared with control, and CRP is positively correlated with serum HbA1c levels. Some of my earliest publications highlighted these oral effects of systemic diseases, as we are able to establish stress and antecedent illness as a risk factor for third molar peritonitis. Owotade et al. Also reported a peculiar profile with is that disease of the mouth can affect treatment for systemic disease. Sometimes you need to take care of oral diseases before you institute treatment for systemic disease. For instance, you need to take care of the mouth before cancer treatment and for radiotherapy or chemotherapy, organ transplantation, and commencement of anti-disruptive therapy. For instance, the patient with a doubtful tooth will have the tooth treated or extracted before the jaw is exposed to radiation as part of radiotherapy for head and neck malignancy. Failure to do so may result in many oral complications, such as osteoid necrosis. That is osteoid necrosis. You are seeing that the lower jaw following radiotherapy. The third category of interaction between disease of the mouth and systemic disease is that the treatment for systemic disease can affect oral health. Oftentimes, drugs are prescribed for systemic disease that end up causing maladies in the mouth, such as dryness, ulcer, gingival swelling, gingival bleeding, bone necrosis, taste alterations, just to mention a few. 500 drugs cause oral damage, muscarinic receptor and alpha receptor antagonists, antihypertensives, bronchodilators, skeletal muscle relaxant, just to mention a few. Some of the oral side effects of systemic drug therapy. I showed them the mouth that you see because Inuagural, he had depressive illness and was also hypertensive. Some of the more serious maladies in the mouth arise from cancer chemotherapy. A study in our center with 2 participants undergoing chemotherapy, dysgeusia, which is altered taste, was present in 60 or 73.17%, oral pain in 47 or 57.32%, oral mucositis in 44 or 53.66%, and fungal infection in 45 or 54.88%. Multivariate analysis showed that the pneumococcal drugs compared with the less pneumococcal and solid tumors compared with lymphoproliferative or risk factors in developing severe mucositis. Fourth and very important interaction between maladies in the mouth and general health is that oral diseases can initiate or worsen general health. Examples include oral bacteria associated with bacterial enterocolitis, periodontal disease affecting glycemic control in diabetes mellitus, periodontal disease associated with preterm lobar weight, oral disease and atherosclerotic cardiovascular diseases, oral microbes and pneumonia, periodontal disease and renal insufficiency, oral microbes causing brain abscess, and poor oral hygiene even causing low sperm count. While associations have been documented, the belief is that there are common risk factors that initiate both the oral disease and the general disease. However, the oral microflora, which I will address before the end of this lecture, has tremendous potential for disease position in distant parts of the body, and this has been well proven. The maladies, A, macro, what you see. Oral maladies in the mouth and face are usually prominently obvious. The mouth and face are not usually hidden, and these diseases are socially embarrassing and functionally disabling. The maladies that we see in the mouth are many. However, I will restrict my presentation to some tumors, the traumas, the infections, and the developmental disorders. These are the lesions I treated in my surgical life, quote and unquote, before I transitioned into oral medicine and oral microbiology. So, that's usually glioblastoma, the common tumor of the jaw before and after treatment. Then there is also longigenic myxoma operated with prosopagnosia. She was going to get married, and nobody would marry again like this, that kind of case. And then trauma. This was a motorcycle rider who stupidly did not wear a crash helmet, and at top speed he lost control and went to the bush. So after clearing the bush with his face, he showed up in a clinic, and he didn't have money for the general anesthesia session. So myself and my senior registrar, Dr. Bola, who is now an associate professor, had to put it together about 2.5 hours under local observation. And of course, the girl is a secondary school polytechnic student was involved in a road traffic accident, who presented to our clinic. And then this gunshot injury was a patient who was shot by armed robbers while they were attempting to connect the truck that was filled with cocoa, and he resisted and he was shot about. After cleaning the remorse and some degree of cleaning, we went to give him another month. For facial infections, herpes zoster involving the maxilla is a rare condition, one of my most cited complications. Usually, herpes zoster will affect the soft tissue, but in this case, affected both the soft tissue and the bone. And of course, this is microbial fasciitis, infection coming from the tooth that can spread to the neck and to the chest. And of course, we also see developmental conditions that are not clear that was repaired by Professor Coco. And then we have this lesion that I call the untouchables. Previously, and still what we see today, many patients wait until tumors are almost inoperable before they show up in the hospital. While the macro findings are pretty obvious and many are treatable with early presentation, the vast majority of the patients ask questions that the doctor is not fully able to answer. For instance, a young undergraduate patient of mine from the University of Ile-Ife who had the front part of her lower jaw removed, this was the early 2000s, asked repeatedly, why did I develop this tumor? I did not have the answer she was looking for. And she later developed psychological issues that necessitated intervention of a clinical psychologist. I ran into her in Accra some time ago. She was a bank executive and was adjusting well to her prosthesis and knew that it made me very happy, knowing what she had passed through. We tried our best in resolving these macro issues, particularly in our resource-constrained environment, and my colleagues and I in maxillofacial surgery, plastic surgery, neurosurgery, ENT surgery, orthopedic surgery, and other related specialties I've had to point the depth of our ingenuity and adaptability to resolve these cases as favorably as possible. We have also documented our experiences in constructing the jaws and the face after tumor ablation. Inuagural 2014, Inuagural 1997, 1999. I salute our ingenious and industrious Nigerian doctors who practically work miracles with very little resources, equipment, and financial compensation. I think we deserve a round of applause. The macro findings are thus more obvious than their causes, and this is a constant intrigue for the patients and the practitioners. This leads us into the micro, what is sense. The invention of the microscope in the 1600s forever changed the way maladies are understood. Around 1674, Dutchman Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, who first identified oral microbiome using a microscope that he invented, reported, quote, little living animals freely moving, unquote, till National 2019. Beyond the gross findings on the macro level, clinicians can further evaluate a disease condition if they sense that the microscopic findings are unique and useful for diagnostic purposes. In the maladies of the mouth, microscopic evaluation can be used to study the histology or the microbiologic features. I'll veer more into the microbiologic world in the oral cavity when I began to sense the impact of microscopic agents and processes. The oral cavity is an enigma with regards to the microbiome that it harbors. It is the second largest and diverse microbiota after the gut. The oral microbiome is defined as the collective genome of microorganisms that reside in the oral cavity. The oral microbes live a mutually beneficial symbiotic relationship with each other, mostly without causing harm. They are also able to keep pathogenic organisms at bay as long as this barrier is not breached. I feel like I told 2009. The positive effect of this symbiotic relationship is depicted by this figure from Killian and co-workers in 2016. When this symbiotic relationship is distorted and leads to disease state, this is referred to as dysbiosis. The oral microbiome is very complex, and with an average population of about 50 to 100 billion bacteria in the oral cavity of an adult. If both were humans, with the current global population of 8.1 billion people, you will have approximately 10 times of that population residing in your mouth. Candida species where I have concentrated are the principal fungal organisms in the oral cavity. Many of the microorganisms in the oral cavity are difficult to culture and identify with conventional techniques. However, the discovery of new genomic technologies such as next-generation sequencing and bioinformatics has further enhanced the understanding of the complexities of the oral microbiome. There's actually an oral human microbiome database, https www.hufmd.org, that keeps growing. That's just a snapshot of the human oral microbiome database. The oral cavity has different microenvironments with varying microbial composition and is regulated by complex signaling, host and external environmental factors. With the humongous population and diversity in the oral cavity, and despite several known benefits of the oral microbiome, these bugs have been known to propagate maladies within and beyond the mouth. I call them bugs without borders. A recent study using data from the U.S. National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, NIH 2009 to 2012, investigated the association between thyroid function and oral microbiome diversity. The authors concluded that hyperthyroidism was associated with reduced oral microbiome diversity. Zeng et al. 2023. Oral bacteria may be linked or serve as biomarkers for certain systemic diseases, such as pancreatic cancer, type 2 diabetes mellitus, pediatric Crohn's disease, heart disease, and low back weight, preterm and preterm back. Bacteria, viruses, and fungi are greatly implicated in some cancers. The oral microbiome most probably has a direct or indirect role in oral carcinogenesis. As some oral microbiomes, I contribute more to carcinogenesis than others. General mechanisms proposed are chronic inflammation common to both cancer and periodontal disease. The interplay is complex and the sketch is presented. I'm not going to bore you with some of the details, but just to show you that oral bacteria has direct and indirect connection head and neck cancer. Some of the specific bad boys, both and unboth in the oral microbiome and the maladies they can cause at distant sites include Porphyromonas gingivalis, which possesses multiple mechanisms for inhibition of apoptosis in epithelial cells. P. gingivalis is able to degrade basement membrane through MMP9 production, thereby enhancing cell division. Another oral organism is Fusobacterium nucleatum, which is able to modulate several anti-apoptotic pathways and additionally activates beta-T, resulting in the secretion of MMP9 and MMP13, which play a very important role in tumor inhibition in metastasis. So, Vice Chancellor, sir. My foray into the microbiological connections with oral maladies started with personal observation. The pericarditis, that is infection around the wisdom tooth, I had at that time used to flare up whenever I had malaria. This led to my research on the hidden morbidity of malaria. Malaria is an important disease in the tropics, and its role as a predisposing factor of comorbidity has been investigated in many diseases, including HIV infection and tuberculosis. However, there are very few studies which have investigated its role in oral and dental diseases. And we proceeded to do a simple case control study that showed that having malarial parasite was actually a risk factor for third molar pericarditis, Owotade et al. 2006. This was followed up with a review on the role of malaria and oral health, showing that malaria not only causes oral diseases, the drugs used to treat malaria also produce perturbations in oral health, Owotade and Greenspan 2008. More recently, the oral features of malaria may be used to identify the condition. It was recommended that dental and general professionals should pay more attention to oral manifestations in malaria cases for the purpose of diagnosis and management, et al. 2021. The hidden morbidity of malaria and how it interacts with oral diseases is still one of the mysteries waiting to be discovered. My most investigated microbiologic agent and its relationship to the mouth is the human immunodeficiency virus and its interaction with oral candida species. Our initial studies documented the peculiar and unusual presentation in our environment, and sometimes just as harmless bilateral parotid swelling. A paper in 2005 was the first to document parotid gland swelling as the presenting clinical manifestation of HIV/AIDS at the epicenter of the disease, Africa at that time, Owotade et al. 2005. That is the patient just presenting with bilateral parotid swelling, and we didn't know much about it at that time. Similarly, and very early in the HIV pandemic, 2005 to 2006, we carried out a study to document the orofacial presentation of HIV infection in children. None of the children in the study had ever been treated with antiretroviral drugs. 87.2% of 39 HIV-infected children, compared with 9.5% of the 21 HIV-uninfected children had orofacial lesions. In the HIV-infected children, the papillopathy was the commonest lesion in 2.1%, followed by oral candidiasis in 43.6%, gingivitis in 25.6%, and bilateral parotid enlargement in 25.6%. I did Gingivitis et al. 2007. When I was in an environment with sophisticated diagnostic facilities, where HIV diagnosis could be made before seroconversion, we studied both pre-seroconversion and post-seroconversion recently infected HIV patients and compared with HIV-negative adults. We compared the group with oral lesions to those without oral lesions with respect to HIV RNA load and CD4. Pseudomembranous candidiasis was the most common oral lesion, and among those with primary HIV infection was found in 4% of the 23 participants in pre-seroconversion and in 9% of the 69 participants in post-seroconversion recent infection, compared with none in 23 HIV negatives. Among those with PHI, the median viral load was higher, and the median CD40 cell count was lower among the 15 participants with viral lesion of any type than among the 77 participants without viral lesions. P equals 0.02 and 0.04 respectively. A finding suggested that individuals with PHI or viral lesions may be more likely to transmit HIV because of their higher viral load. Owotade 2008. At the peak of the pandemic, I was privileged to attend the World Workshops on the oral aspect of HIV infection, which was pioneered by my late mentor, Professor Greenspan. The reports of those workshops were instrumental in the understanding of the HIV disease process in the mouth and indeed other parts of the body, and also influence policies and practices that help to mitigate the effects of the pandemic. For instance, the workshop in Beijing drew attention to the role of other organisms and similar opportunistic organisms like mycobacteria in worsening the outcome for HIV positive patients near a top 20 level. A similar report of the workshop in India drew attention to the increase in adverse clinical outcomes such as candidemia and other deep fungal infections like histoplasmosis and penicillosis in HIV infection. Even with advances in antifungal therapy, mortality and morbidity from deep fungal infections have not changed significantly. The researchers advocated for the development of new antifungal therapeutic agents and the use of alternative therapies, Vidya et al. 2016. A recent study by one of my supervisees, the HIV positive participant, investigated the relationship between immunosuppression and cytokine dysregulation on oral melanotic hyperpigmentation, HIV-OH. Severe immunosuppression, CD4 count of less than 200 cells per cubic mm was present in over half of the study participants, being more prevalent among the cases than among the control group, P equals 0.019. It was concluded that there was a significant association between HIV OMH and severe immunosuppression in the newly diagnosed HIV seropositive patients, appearing from 2022. See the molecular, what to suspect. Molecular biology or molecular medicine deals with studying chemical structures and processes of biological phenomena that involve the basic needs of life, molecules. The field of molecular biology is focused especially on nucleic acids and proteins, macromolecules that are essential to life processes, and how these molecules interact and behave within cells. Some of the most stunning discoveries in medical sciences have evolved from understanding of what happens beyond the macro and micro level with the study of genes, proteins, and metabolites. This has helped to develop interventions that have miraculous effects on disease conditions. Consequently, molecular targeted therapy is gradually replacing cytotoxic chemotherapy for cancer treatment, for instance. My passion for basic sciences was fired by several factors. Firstly, the lack of full understanding of the causes of many diseases that we see makes prevention and management ineffective, a very humbling experience for many doctors. After presenting a seminar and showing the massive blood tumors that we see in Africa, sometime in 2005, Professor Tony Pogre, Chief of Health and Manipulation Surgery at the University of California, San Francisco, at that time, asked me about the biology of the tumors I presented. I was blank, and it had led me to go and find the answers. Secondly, my interactions with my mentor, John Richman, and his colleagues made my basic sciences deficiency so obvious as I could not relate so well with the molecular biology aspect of oral maladies at seminars and conferences. So, as a professor of oral and facial surgery, I registered and completed a PhD program in oral microbiology with a huge component of molecular biology at the University of the Witwatersrand, Johannesburg, South Africa, from 2010 to 2014. My research capacity in basic sciences thus expanded tremendously And some of the outcome of that effort is what I'm going to present next. Candida species are normal mouth commensals in about 40% of the population. However, in the immunocompromised, Candida organisms can not only cause persistent mucosal infections, as shown earlier, but can also cause life-threatening disseminated infections. We therefore studied the factors associated with oral colonization with Candida species and the changes associated with antiretroviral therapy. Of the 197 HIV positive patients that we studied, 117, 59.4%, were colonized with oral Candida species. Candida albicans was present in 71%, and Candida albinensis was the most frequent non-albicans Candida. The colonized group had a higher rate of concurrent tuberculosis infection and a lower median CD4 count compared with the non-colonized group. All the participants not on ARV therapy and those having oral prosthesis were colonized. The oral Candida count was negatively correlated with the CD4 count in participants on antiretroviral therapy. Other associated factors with oral Candida colonization were dental caries and diabetes mellitus. The colonization rate was high at 81.3% as well as the yeast count before ARV therapy was available, while the prevalence of stage of leniensis increased from 6.3% to 11%. Our study clearly showed that dental caries, diabetes mellitus, oral prosthesis, and TB infection were associated with oral colonization with Candida species. The colonization rate, variety, and use counts declined with ARV therapy. Owotade et al. 2013. So some of the risk factors, this figure shows the CD4 count and oral Candida count correlation. We also looked at the fungal sensitivity patterns of the yeast we found in HIV patients and compared with cancer patients and presumably normal individuals. Resistance pattern of the fungus to antifungin was 0.49%, axofungin 0.97%, usaconazole 3.4%, voriconazole 0.97%, itraconazole 0.97%, fluconazole 1.94%, and there was none to amphotericin B. However, the high number of non-wild type strains suggests that there is a need for an ongoing surveillance. Owotade et al. 2016. And that table is showing the antifungal sensitivity patterns of oral Candida estimate. Part of our study investigated the molecular epidemiology of Candida species in HIV positive women. It was the first study to document the changes in species, strains, and virulence of oral Candida in a longitudinal manner. The workflow of the study is what I showed in that sketch. The virulence characteristics that we looked at were the adherence assay of the yeast and their production of enzymes, so proteinase and phospholipase. Virulence characteristics fluctuated over time, but did not appear to influence the development of clinical infection. However, the yeast count was significantly associated with clinical infection. 532.3 CFU per mil compared with 213.4 CFU per mil, P equals 0.002. So we see that the yeast count and the virulence characteristics of oral Candida are shown in that table. Irrespective of clinical symptoms, our findings support most of researchers have found that C. albicans appear to be more aggressive than the non-albicans Candida in the HIV population. And that is showing the virulence characteristics of Candida, oral Candida, and their relationship with clinical infection. The clinical relevance of this is that in HIV positive patients, oral candidiasis is caused by high counts of Candida albicans rather than the virulence alone. Virulence and level of yeast fluctuate during the asymptomatic stage. We recommended that low counts of Candida should be maintained using prophylactic antimicrobial compounds to prevent infection. Owotade and Prof. 2014. As part of our research, we also investigated changes in the strains of Candida albicans over the follow-up period, and our findings are very interesting. We first used ABC genotyping as a way of characterizing C. albicans, and we showed that the same strains were carried by the majority of patients, 91.4% through the follow-up period. And that is showing the strain characteristic of the oral Candida using the ABC genotyping. And then the figure is showing the initial products of the V3 region and 25S rRNA of C. albicans. We also use the more discriminatory multi-local sequence typing technique, which is the MLST. The MLST is based on the polymorphisms of several housekeeping genes of Candida albicans. The combination of the alleles produce a unique diploid sequence type, which is used to identify the strains. A study showed evidence of recolonization with new strains in Candida albicans in 64.7%, and produced significantly high amounts of proteinase. 9 subjects carried the same strain at 2 visits, and 8 subjects carried different strains at 12 visits. So it should be noted that genetically similar strains might have divergent TST numbers, and the more sensitive polymorphism of the alleles was used to assess strain related. So we showed that about 64.7% of the people who followed up over time were infected with other strains of yeast, and 35.3% had the same strain over time, just to show that the strains vary with time. In addition, we identified 26 previously undocumented strains of C. albicans that were unique to this region, and we have thus expanded the MLSTC albicans database. The PubMed MLST database is a recognized site for curating the organisms, and our lists are fully documented there. The screenshots are from the website. So all the oral strains that you see that are from Africa are the ones we were able to characterize and identify and that the database. If you click on the metadata, it shows the metadata shows the details of each of one of the strains, ST2187. It shows the name of the curator, the person who sent in the sample, and all that. Now the connections. The Yoruba proverb says, the water bug dancing on the surface of the stream passes lower below the surface. The expression of maladies on the face, and indeed the rest of the body, is initiated in the genes and expressed as proteins and metabolites, whose effects are modulated by the environment and other risk factors. Thus, the understanding of disease processes to cut across all layers and not just what is seen clinically. More precisely, in my area of research, or the oral microbiome, they can influence the body's immune response by triggering inflammation and producing inflammatory cytokines. Once in the circulation, these cytokines affect multiple systemic tissues and blood vessels throughout the body. So oral microbes can thus modulate the immune response in both local and systemic context. One of the well-studied connections between oral microbes and systemic disease is diabetes mellitus. Studies suggest that oral microorganisms may trigger insulin resistance by affecting immune inflammation and oxidative stress in the body, thereby influencing the development of conditions like diabetes mellitus. So we can see here that the fact that you have a bad oral hygiene doesn't mean that it ends there. It may be at risk of worsening diabetes mellitus. So these are the connections that have been documented. The metabolites produced by oral microorganisms can also enter the systemic circulation through the blood, leading to low-grade inflammation in the body and contributing to the development of chronic inflammatory disease in the digestive system, the cardiovascular system, and others. This highlights the intricate relationship between oral microbiota, metabolism, and systemic health. Peng et al. 2022. A connection between oral microorganisms and cardiovascular disease has also been established and is partially explained by the role of hormones gingivitis. I have a sketch there showing how hormonal gingivitis actually predisposes to cardiovascular disease. Mysteries waiting to be discovered. Consider the huge population of the oral microorganisms and their propensity for mutation, microevolution, migration, and the metabolites they can produce. In addition, if we juxtapose that reality with the diversity and complexity of the human genome and the ever dynamic internal micro and macro environments, and then factor the multiple environmental risk factors for diseases, such as food, water, sanitation, air pollution, pesticides, and so on, the mysteries to unravel are quite limitless. It will take forever to fully understand all the connections. I would like to mention some of our ongoing efforts to unravel some of these mysteries. We have ongoing studies on the molecular epidemiology of the human papillomavirus in HIV-positive subjects who are at the risk of short-term development of HPV oral lesions and long-term development of oral cancer. We study the carriage rates and types as well as the risk factors for HPV carriage in the mouth. 10 out of the 20 samples were positive using nested PCR with sequencing, hence an oral HPV prevalence of 35.7%. The genotypes obtained include HPV-16, HPV-6, 72, and HPV-2, with an equal prevalence of 25% for each genotype. Age at first sex was the only risk indicator for oral HPV infection on both bivariate analysis and logistic regression. HPV-16, which are pathogenic high-risk HPV, obtained from our samples, had 99% similarity to sequence from Nepal with ascension number AX9472770.1. So we just put the relationship between our risk and others in that phylogenetic tree. We have extended this work to a larger cohort at the Nigerian Institute for Medical Research, Yaba, Lagos, where I'm also an adjunct professor. Apart from the molecular epidemiology of oral HPV and the risk factors, we are also doing metagenomic analysis of the associated oral microbiome with my collaborators at NIMA at the University of Lagos. NIMA has graciously funded the research. Another mission we are trying to unravel is the current work by my postgraduate student in collaboration with colleagues in gas spectrology on the oral and microbial features in patients with chronic liver disease. Swallow bacteria can, under certain conditions, affect the composition of the gut microbiota, causing dysbiosis, increased gut permeability, and translocation. This leads to endotoxemia and systemic inflammation, the so-called oral gut liver axis hypothesis that suggests that the prognosis of chronic liver disease is related to the peculiar oral microbiome. About Millennials Yetana 2022. This is what we are investigating in our patient population. I just put that figure there to show that what is happening in your mouth distantly can affect what can cause problems with your liver. That is a reality. Oral medicine adventure. So, Vice Chancellor, my academic adventure will not be complete without mentioning the fact that I've had the real privilege to practice successfully more than one specialty of dentistry. After my training in oral and artificial surgery, I had a divine opportunity to train in oral medicine at the University of California, San Francisco from 2005 to 2006. I was privileged to utilize the Fokker PhD scholarship grant with Professor Adringo of UC Berkeley as the PI. This was through my link with Professor Bolede and his friend, Professor John Grisman. Oral medicine is the specialty of dentistry that is concerned with oral health care of medically compromised patients and with the diagnosis and non-surgical management of medically related disorders or conditions affecting the oral and maxillofacial region. At the time I went to train, it was the peak of the HIV pandemic with many oral conditions in African countries without oral medicine specialists to diagnose and treat them. In Nigeria, oral medicine specialists were less than 5 in the country, and there was none in our university hospital. On arrival back to Nigeria, we started the oral medicine clinical service and postgraduate training in Ile-Ife. Today, this has blossomed into a recognized training center in the West Africa sub-region. Our center is a reference in this specialty, and we have trained 8 oral medicine specialists at Ife, and have made notified from other centers in Nigeria and Ghana. 2 senior residents are rounding up their training. We hosted the first ever oral medicine conference in the country in Ile-Ife in October 2017 with 22 participants drawn from across the country. The trainees and the few specialists that attended felt the sense of belonging. It was a watershed event in the process of the growth of the specialty in the country. The specialty is still growing. That figure is showing the attendees at our meeting in 2017. In all, as supervised and co-supervised 21 doctors who are now specialists in the fields of oral and maxillofacial surgery, oral medicine, oral pathology, periodontology, and medical microbiology. I also supervised and co-supervised 2 PhD students and 2 master students, and the third PhD is rounding up. 3 of my supervisees are either at full professorship level or leadership level. The others are on their way to becoming professors. Looking back, my gap-resistant disposition to date has yielded a lot of dividends for the country. So, the students administrative contributions. My period in the university also gave me the opportunity to grow in administrative ability through the various positions available. At various times and for a combined period of 9 years, I was head of the department of oral and maxillofacial surgery, preventive dentistry. I also served as advisor of the faculty of dentistry for 2 sessions and dean of the faculty for 2 times of 4 years. On the hospital side of Obafemi University of Ile-Ife, I was privileged to serve as the chairman medical advisory committee for 4 years. I was the first dentist of the department. I also acted as medical director for 3 months before the second CMD was appointed. Concluding sentences. Mr. Vice Chancellor, by now, the reason for the choice of the title of this lecture will have become very obvious. The maladies of the mouth are varied, but what is obvious is dictated by factors that are not so obvious, but which must be discerned. These are the mysteries that we shall continue to attempt to fully unravel. The microbiological and the molecular ecology of the oral cavity and indeed the rest of the body hold a very crucial role in unraveling this mystery. This is due to the inextricable connection that one part of the body has with the rest of the body. Therefore, the mouth is as important as any other part of the body, and the health of the mouth must be taken seriously. However, we can safely conclude that the macro findings like the facial tumors that I've shown, even if people don't fully understand their biology, can be effectively managed if only they are treated to seek help from the appropriate experts at time. There's a general erroneous belief that all swellings will eventually burst. Many facial swellings present in incisions done locally, which we call query, with the expectation that the swelling will resolve. This is not true for the tumors and the lesions that we see on the face. Any unusual swelling on the face or anywhere in the body should be properly investigated and managed by experts in the field. Similarly, facial injuries from motorcycle and motor vehicle accidents can be prevented with adequate enforcement of relevant regulations. I wonder what is so difficult in wearing a crash helmet when riding a motorcycle. In addition, attention should be paid to maintaining our road network to prevent accidents. Many of the roads that we plan are dead traps. Recommendations. Number 1. Attention needs to be paid to the maladies that occur in the mouth, from treating diseases in other parts of the body, planning for radiotherapy, cancer chemotherapy, organ transplantation, and other such procedures to be done by multidisciplinary teams involving oral healthcare professionals. Number 2, the study of basic sciences, and especially molecular biology, should be emphasized in the curriculum of undergraduate and postgraduate training in dentistry. This is the missing link in our research, and it's an impediment to better understanding of the disease that we see and treat. The follow-up to this is for the university to create establishment positions in basic sciences of oral microbiology, oral immunology, oral anatomy, oral physiology in the faculty of dentistry. Number 3, there should be more studies on the oral microbiome to explore the functional and metabolic conditions associated with disease states in the mouth and beyond. With this, peculiar molecular signatures useful for drug development and targeted therapies will be identified and will enhance personalized medicine. To achieve the recommendations above, there should be funding for training and establishment of basic science laboratories in the dental faculties, and more dentists should be incentivized to pursue basic science degrees in molecular biology, microbiology, immunology, or chemistry, physiology, and so on. Number 5, mycology reference laboratories should be established in each geopolitical zone of the country, as none currently exists, and experts in fungal infections are rare. Appreciation and acknowledgement. To God Almighty for the gift of life, health, and ability. It is in Him that I live and move and have my being. Acts chapter 17, verse 28. My parents and family, Father Joseph Owotade 1929 to 2021, and Mama Florence Owotade 1936 to 20, both of blessed memory, instilled in us the virtue of hard work, honesty, and the fear of God. They also sacrificially gave us the best education they could afford. I wish you were here today. I grew up with 3 lovely sisters and a brother from my parents. For the ones who have departed for a better life, Mrs. Oda Abiola and Mr. Babashima Owotade, may their memories be always blessed. I'm truly grateful for my surviving siblings, Ms. Awolowo, Odumosu, Mrs. Bukola Ebekele, and my brothers-in-law, Mr. Tudea, Mr. Odumosu, and Pastor Kenny Ebekele. I truly appreciate your love and untiring effort to pray for me and carry me on. I also appreciate the elders who have continued to look out for me. Partially, Aladi for him, Parabayo, I think we will miss Gabriel Moshe, Mr. Tunde Owotade, and Professor Soyade. I also appreciate the constant love and support of my wife's family. Look at me, Papa Akimola, Mrs. Shadi Johnson, Pastor Shidi Akimola, and very good Dr. Ben Akimola, and their able spouses. To my teachers and mentors, I can never forget the positive influence of my principal at Aquinas College of Inaugural and all the dedicated teachers at Haka, too numerous to mention. In university and postgraduate life, I've been surrounded with great mentors. Professor Stephen Odusaya, Professor Itope Okodede, Professor Ika Otiemi, Oga, Professor Dabola Soji, for their contributions to my academic development. My foray into oral medicine and basic sciences has been greatly helped by Professor John Richman and Professor Deborah Richman. John was a mentor, father, and friend who exposed me to international research collaborations. I gratefully appreciate my oral medicine trainer, Professor Caroline Shiboski, who is in France and is watching live, and my PhD supervisor, also in South Africa, watching Professor Mudula Patel. I appreciate all my teachers who positively influenced my academic career. Of note, our late Professor Mudu and Professor Shekin Fakade. Colleagues and friends. I have many friends and colleagues, and I truly appreciate your contributions to my life and career. I have these 2 corporates and non-victors and their wives, who are as constant as my shadow. I love you guys. I truly appreciate my late friend and senior colleague, Professor Koko, who nudged me to write my first paper. And then I appreciate Professor Obafemi who encouraged me on my oral medicine adventure, despite our terrific synergy and our magnifying surgery units. My supposed friend, Clive Akeshola, paid for my conference, my first conference outside the country in 2002. And my friend, Beniga Shofora, professor, paid for my first journal subscription. These milestones helped to a great deal to define my career trajectory. Students and proteges. My students and proteges too numerous to mention. They keep me stimulated and I learn a lot from them. I appreciate you all. OAU and other institutions. I'm an alumnus of 3 great Nobel Prize winning institutions. Obafemi University, Obafemi Awolowo University in Nigeria, University of California, San Francisco, and University of Witwatersrand, Johannesburg, South Africa. I thank the authorities of this university for providing the enabling environment for fulfilling my aspirations. Third family. As I'm ordained priest communion to the my president, Bishop Victor Akelade, and all my brother priests, some of them are here, And all the congregants where I have served, especially as Savior's Anglican Church, Lord Ile-Ife, where I'm presently the vicar and ITP. God bless you all. My immediate family, the first girl I toasted, she's sitting right there. She said yes. And I never regretted that God inspired manifesto to my dear brother Dale, Omokopa, Sisibola. I love you to the moon and back. I'm also the best father of many children who lived in my house for an extended period. I have only biological children, but I have many children who have lived in my house. Omolola Nadeko, Kemi, Funketayo, Fumiloda, Efefe, Ayolowo Kole, Lekan, Bisayo, Tokunlope, Funke, Pomile, Atla, Chino, just to mention a few. My newest sons are the husbands of my daughters, Toba and Adiola. I love you all, and I will surely keep my promises to you, including retaliating all your rascality, such as wasting water and electricity, making noise, breaking plates, littering the house when I come visit your own homes. To God be all the glory and thank you for your attention.